Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariane. I am a luxury travel advisor based right here in Vancouver, Canada. And today I am boarding this beautiful ship, which is the Holland America Koningsdam. If you are not new around here, you know I actually filmed a 7-part series on board the Holland America Koningsdam a couple years ago. So I am now going to be back on board filming an update video, because that was obviously kind of just after the pandemic, and Alaska has definitely changed since then. So I'm really excited to be bringing you along as I show you what it's like to spend a week on board the beautiful Koningsdam to Alaska. Let's get checked in. Holland America Line docks at Canada Place, which is located right downtown Vancouver. Checking in for your Holland America cruise here at Canada Place is very simple. You'll first go to level P2 at Canada Place to drop your baggage off here where it says Koningsdam. Then you'll go upstairs in Canada Place to the actual cruise check-in. Now, I actually suggest my clients to check in around 10:30, as that's when security also opens. As the Koningsdam runs its 1-week Alaska cruises out of Vancouver on a Saturday, it is unfortunately the most busiest day here that the port experiences in Vancouver. So if you do arrive between 1 and 2 o'clock p.m., be sure to pack your patience, as there's usually 3 to 4 cruise ships in port at the same time trying to check their guests in. Also, be sure to have the Navigator app, which is Holland America's app, downloaded onto your phone to access your boarding pass, or have your boarding passes printed, because you will need those to check in and also to get onto the ship, as the key cards are in your door. Now, let's give you a stateroom tour of my Veranda stateroom. The bed is extremely comfortable and is either a queen configuration or can be split into 2 twin beds. This particular cabin is a connecting stateroom, as you can see with the door, which is great for families. It does sleep up to 3 people, as this sofa bed does pull out into a bed. The verandas on Holland America Line ships are a fairly decent size, and I do recommend getting into a higher category so that you do have a full glass balcony. I also love how Holland America Line has the footrests for the chairs, so it's really comfortable to lounge, especially watching glaciers. I also really appreciate how Holland America has designed the staterooms for all the storage areas that they have included for guests. There's also so many different outlets. I would actually bring a universal adapter so that you can use either the North American or European plugs to your benefit. Here in the top drawer of the desk, you'll actually find the hairdryer and also a plug-in makeup mirror that lights up. Again, you'll find another outlet and USB plug on either side of the bed. In the corner cabinet, you'll find glassware, and at the bottom, you will find the flannel blankets, which are amazing for cozy days in front of the glaciers on your veranda. There's also a safe which fit my 16-inch MacBook Pro, and a fully stocked minibar, which is an additional charge. Your room also comes with a couple of robes and an umbrella, which is a great touch. There's also a decent amount of storage space, perfect for 2 people, and also a full-length mirror. The bathroom is a pretty standard size, and I really appreciate the glass doors to the shower and not a shower curtain. There's also a few glass shelves and a decent amount of counter space. The shower features an adjustable shower head, a clothesline, and a footrest. Bathroom amenities are by LMS. Holland America Line does do the muster drill a little bit differently than some cruise lines, where you actually watch the muster on your TV and then you'll go down to your muster station to check in.
Another tip that I have is to actually travel with a business card because it will actually work just like your cruise card for the electrics in your room. I sometimes do this through the day if I'm going out and I'm charging some of my gear. I also really like the new wildlife spotting guide that Holland America has in your room when you arrive. It's great.
So now that I have shown you what a veranda stateroom looks like here on Holland America Line's Koningsdam, let's go ahead and show you an entire ship tour. So let's go explore the ship.
Starting off on deck 1 in the atrium, you'll find the art gallery. Here they'll host different art auctions and art shows throughout your cruise. Going up a deck to decks 2 and 3 at the aft of the ship or at the back of the ship, we'll find the 2-story dining room here on Holland America Koningsdam. It's an incredible dining room, and the masterpiece of the chandeliers are Murano glass. They have a few different options for dining here. They have a 5:30 or an 8 o'clock dining time, or you can choose open seating, which I prefer. The menu also changes daily. Club Orange on Holland America offers elevated comfort and convenience with perks such as priority check-in and disembarkation, a complimentary upgrade to the best available stateroom within your category, exclusive or priority dining, and access to a dedicated concierge hotline. Welcome sparkling wine, premium bathrobes, and a stylish tote bag. It also includes invitations to captain-hosted events, and on Pinnacle-class ships such as the Koningsdam, access to this private Club Orange dining venue with an expanded menu. Taste Wine Bar offers sommelier-curated wine tastings and blending classes. Ocean Bar is located in the heart of the ship on deck 2. It's a perfect location to meet up with your friends or family members before heading off to dinner. In the evenings, there is usually a pianist here and/or other live music. Also located in the atrium right near Ocean Bar is the restaurant reservations desk. If you have any problems or need to change any of your restaurant reservations, I would highly suggest coming here the moment you get on board. This desk is manned throughout your voyage, so if you do have any additional restaurant reservations you'd like to make or any changes, you can definitely come down here and speak to somebody. Right next to the atrium, you will find Rudy's Salle de Mer, which is a specialty restaurant featuring seafood and French-style cuisine. It is absolutely delicious, as you'll see later in the video. Just on the other side of the atrium on deck 2 is Pinnacle Grill. This is another specialty restaurant on board Holland America Line, and it is the quintessential steakhouse, and I love the food here. It is open for lunch on sea days and most dinners and does require reservation. As we walk forward on deck 2, we will find some of the shops here. The shops on deck 2 are primarily beauty and also jewelry shops, with also a exclusive Effie shop. Across from the shops on deck 2, we will find BB King's Blues Club. I absolutely love this venue. The live music here and the bands that they host are absolutely incredible. You'll also find different activities throughout the day, such as usually a coffee talk with the cruise director, trivia, and a few fun game show style events. BB King's Blues Club is part of Holland America Line's Music Walk. At night, between Rolling Stone Rock Room, Billboard Onboard, and BB King's Blues Club, they all take turns through sets, and it's a great way to spend your evening on board. While Rolling Stone Rock Room features a live rock band every evening, Billboard Onboard features trivia and dueling pianos. Notes is a Scotch and whiskey tasting bar. Again, it is a additional cost and features some incredible Scotch and whiskeys from around the world. I absolutely love the new libraries that Holland America Line has included on their ships. This is the brand new library on the Holland America Koningsdam. Here you'll find your daily crosswords, sudokus, and you can also loan any of these books complimentary for your voyage. At the very front of the ship, spanning decks 2 and 3, is the world stage. Here you'll find plenty of enrichment talks through the day and nightly evening entertainment shows. On deck 3 forward, you will find the casino. It's a fairly good sized casino for the ship, offering plenty of slot machines and table games. On deck 3, you'll find more of the shops. These shops are the duty-free liquor store and also the gift shops where you'll find Holland America Line merchandise. And there's also a section for regional goods. So for instance, because this cruise is going to Alaska, there's plenty of Alaska items to purchase on board. There's also a luxury goods section where you can buy pre-owned Louis Vuittons, Gucci bags, and whatnot. I absolutely love the Grand Dutch Cafe on Pinnacle class ships, such as the Koningsdam. It has a great coffee menu, and there are tons of treats and snacks available here that you'll find from the Netherlands. I really recommend trying one of the chocolate dipped cream puffs. They're absolutely amazing from here. Just on the other side of the Grand Dutch Cafe on Deck 3 Midship, you'll find the Future Cruise Desk and also guest services. I do recommend utilizing the Navigator app, which is Holland America Line's app, which is free to use, to check your onboard account regularly. If you see something that's not quite right, you can definitely come to guest services, and I highly suggest doing that the night before your cruise ends, as there is usually a very long line here the day of disembarkation. As we walk to the back of the ship on Deck 3, we walk through the photo shop. Here you'll be able to order specialty items using the photos that were taken on the cruise, and you'll obviously also see all the photos that were taken of you on the cruise. Heading up to Deck 9 at the very back of the ship, or the aft of the ship, you will find the Sea View Pool. This is an adults only pool and offers an incredible area for the sail away parties from Vancouver. I personally love using the whirlpools at this pool because it's typically not that busy and you actually do get a pretty good view of your surroundings. Right beside the Sea View Pool is the Sea View Bar, and you'll also find a smoking area here. Up on Deck 9, you'll find another specialty restaurant called Canaletto. During the evening, this is an Italian-style restaurant. In the daytime, you can utilize this area as part of the Lido Market Buffet. The Lido Market is the buffet on board Holland America Line's Koningsdam. There is a hand wash station as you walk in, and you'll find a wall of tea available, coffee, hot water, and a water station. One of the biggest things I appreciate on Holland America Line is that their buffet is not all self-serve. There are some items that you do serve yourself. However, most of the hot items, the salad bar, they actually serve you. So there's less of a chance of cross-contamination, and the area just is so clean. It's definitely a buffet that I personally eat at. Moving more midship, you will find Gelato, which is an extra charge gelato shop. I'll be honest, this was actually the first cruise on Holland America I actually did try the gelato, and it was so delicious. Next door, you'll find the Lido Bar. This is the main bar for Deck 9 near the pool area. There are plenty of seats in this area as you have Lido Bar, Gelato, Dive-In, and upstairs you have New York Deli and Pizza. I absolutely love the Lido pool on Pinnacle class ships. I really appreciate the retractable roof as well, so when you are in Alaska, sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate, and there's also noise ordinances. So here, by having a retractable roof, they're still able to play movies by the pool and not worry about the sound escaping. Dive-In is a burger bar that is complimentary here on Deck 9 at the Lido Pool. I highly suggest trying the Cannonball. If you do try it, let me know in the comments what you think. It's a great quick serve lunch spot, and usually I have it at least once on my cruise, if not twice. The thermal suite on board Holland America Koningsdam is absolutely beautiful and so relaxing. I always get a thermal suite pass for the week, and it's just such a nice getaway that is not overcrowded as they only sell a certain amount of passes for the week. If it is something that is of interest to you, definitely book it ahead of time before you get on board, as I have heard of cases where people didn't book it ahead of time, boarded, and it was already sold out on the first day. The inclusions of the thermal suite is the hydrotherapy pool, a couple of steam rooms, the heated loungers, a infrared sauna bed, and a few different experience showers. One of the absolute gems on this ship is the sauna. There are 2 saunas, one for women, one for men, and yes, it is absolutely totally free to use. You don't need a thermal suite pass. On Deck 9 forward, there is the greenhouse spa and salon. Here is where you'll actually come and get the key card for the thermal suite. It has a full salon, barbershop, manicure and pedicure area, as well as a full spa. They also offer additional services such as acupuncture and other wellness treatments. The fitness studio and center on board the Koningsdam is incredible. It's a massive space and has plenty of equipment. There's very few times where you'll be actually waiting for a machine, which is really good for a ship this size. They do have some complimentary classes included, as well as some personal training sessions and a few other specialty classes at an additional cost. Another of my favorites is New York Deli and Pizza. Here they make fresh to order pizzas and they also do some Italian subs. I actually really love the salads here and I always get a made fresh to order pizza. They also have a movie snack menu for when they do the movies at the pool. Right next door is the Panorama Bar on Deck 10. Club Hal is the kids club on board the Koningsdam. The official age groupings for Club Hal is ages 3 to 6 and then ages 7 to 12. You can definitely enroll your kids on day 1 of your cruise and visit Club Hal for more information on the programs. On Deck 11, you will find the sports court. There are quite a few lines painted on here because this is for basketball, tennis, and also pickleball. Yes, you can play pickleball on Holland America. At the aft of Deck 10, you will find Tamarind, Nami Sushi, and Morimoto by Sea. These are specialty restaurants with an additional charge and do require reservations. I'll be honest, this is probably the most underrated restaurant on board Holland America Line ships. I highly suggest making a reservation here, and the food is absolutely delicious. The retreat on Deck 12 are cabanas that need to be reserved through your concierge or guest services. It's a serene adults-only area, however, it is very underutilized here on Alaska Cruises. Crow's Nest on Deck 12 forward is another amazing gem here on the Koningsdam. It is a forward-facing observation lounge that also has a cafe, shore excursions desk, and an artist's loft, which offers an art program throughout your entire sailing. There's also a game section where you can take games out, and also plenty of puzzle tables where you can sit down and puzzle away. As a luxury travel advisor, my clients typically receive added benefits when booking vacations, hotel stays, and cruises through me and my team. I'd love to work with you as your travel advisor. You can contact me for more information by clicking the link in the description box down below or by visiting my website at wanderlustjourney.ca. As I've personally cruised to Alaska now over 8 times, I've created a brand new Alaska travel guide that you can download scanning the QR code on your screen now, or by clicking the link in the first comment down below. Now this concludes the ship tour. Let's go through a day-by-day of my Alaska cruise with Holland America.
As you guys can see, it's been an amazing day here in Vancouver. It's been so beautiful. Everyone's out enjoying the sun decks and the pools. So now we are just about ready for sail away. So let's head to the sea view pool, which is at the very aft of the ship, and check out the sail away party. Let's go.
I might be a little bit biased, but on a sunny day, cruising out of Vancouver is one of the best sailaways I've ever done. After seeing some humpback whales from my stateroom, I got ready for dinner and joined a few of my friends down in the dining room. For my starter, I had the sweet tomato and fresh buffalo mozzarella, and then for my main, I had the pork medallions with lingonberry jam. And for my dessert, I had the triple berry Alaska tart. Holland America line does turn down service every evening, and you'll get your daily for the next day. Day 2 was a day at sea as we were cruising up towards Alaska. I love having room service. It is complimentary with Holland America for room service, so I definitely took advantage of having my breakfast on most days right in my stateroom, enjoying the sea views. As it was a relaxing day at sea, I did check out the What to Do and See Ashore in Alaska talk, followed by meeting up with some friends for brunch in the main dining room. On sea days, the dining room is open for lunch and brunch. My two favorites on the brunch menu are the Monte Cristo sandwich and the Eggs Benedict. In the afternoon, I attended the enrichment talk on the Iditarod, which was really interesting, followed by some time in the thermal suite and the sauna. The other thing I really appreciate about Holland America is the flexibility when it comes to dressing on board. It was gala night, there were people in ball gowns, cocktail attire, however it is more country club casual, and on the regular nights you will see people wearing jeans and more casual clothing to the dining room because it is Alaska. Tonight I started off with the French onion soup, followed by the prosciutto and manchego cheese. For my main course, I had the cracked pepper tenderloin with grilled shrimp, and for dessert, I had the creme brulee.
Well, good evening everyone. On behalf of the management of Holland America Line and the entire team on board, we would like to welcome you on the Koningsdam for our 7 days Alaska cruise. To a voyage of a lifetime with fair winds and following seas. Cheers!
After the captain's toast, as I had already eaten dinner, I stayed behind and watched the performance at the world stage. I've actually seen this show before on the new Stateroom, and I absolutely loved it. After the performance, it was time to check out the music walk.
Good morning from day 3. So it is just after 6 a.m. So I've been up for about 45 minutes or so. It's already quite bright this morning. And this morning, I really highly suggest that you wake up early. The reason being is on your approach to Juneau, you go through Stephen's Passage and a few other little passages on the way up to Juneau. And it's a hotspot for viewing porpoises, whales, seals, and sometimes I've actually seen some sea otters as well in the distance. Highly suggest that you've got your camera with your zoom lens on, or if you have binoculars, make sure that you've got those handy. Holland America has definitely changed their program since the last time I was on the Koningsdam, and that's why I was so excited that they invited me back on board, because I have to say that the changes that they've made to the Alaska program are amazing. 7 o'clock this morning, they do have wildlife spotting up in the crow's nest, which I might go check out and show you guys what that's like. There is a naturalist on board, and they're really taking advantage of using the naturalist. She studied zoology and then specialized in biology. So yeah, it's a great morning to really make sure that you wake up early and go and take a walk about. The last 2 cruises I was up here, I actually saw humpback whale in full breach. So really excited to hopefully see some wildlife. Unfortunately today it's a little bit rainy out there. Hoping that the clouds kind of clear later, but I am actually going to be doing a whale watching experience through Holland America later today. So let's kind of get the day started and hopefully see some whales.
This morning, I decided to have breakfast in the main dining room, which actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because as I was putting in my order, a humpback whale actually appeared right in front of the window in front of my eyes, and I was able to get a few shots of it right from my seat. I always tote around my good camera with my zoom lens because you never know what could pop up. For breakfast, I started off with 2 croissants and some Nutella, and I had the ham and cheese skillet, which I find to be really good and filling. If this is your first cruise to Alaska, I really suggest doing the Tracy Arm Fjord excursion through Holland America Line. There is a technical stop that the Koningsdam does on the way to Juneau so that people can get off for this excursion up to Tracy Arm Fjord. I've done it in the past and highly suggest it. It's a great excursion which offers an intimate viewing of Saar Glacier and the chance to see some whales, bears, and seals along the way. There was a special shopping opportunity on the pool deck as we were sailing up towards Juneau. There are so many things to do and see here in Juneau. You can grab a glacier bus to take you up to Mendenhall Glacier, or you can take the Gold Belt tram up to the top of Mount Roberts. Juneau also offers many active and culinary experiences. You can visit Tracy's King Crab Shack, which they have this location right by the cruise ship terminals, and they also have a second location now. So if this location is too busy, you can definitely walk about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's a lot more quiet. The downtown core of Juneau is quite touristy. However, there are a couple mom and pop gift shops here. It's just about finding some that are locally operated. Also, be sure to check out the Red Dog Saloon. It's definitely an iconic thing here to do in Juneau. Another of my favorites is jellyfish donuts and dumplings. Check them out for sure. And this is Tracy's Crab Shack's second location, which is a little bit off from the cruise ship terminal, which is definitely less busy. As it was pouring with rain, I headed back to the ship, got changed, warmed up, got a little bit of work done, and got ready for my whale watching tour.
Well, friends, it's time to leave the ship again. I am actually doing a small group whale watch adventure through Holland America's shore excursions. So here in Juneau. So really excited to check that out. Juneau is actually a great place to do whale watching. It's probably the place to do whale watching here in Alaska. If you are doing an Alaska cruise, really suggest doing whale watching here out of Juneau. So yeah, let's show you what this experience looks like.
After checking the Navigator app, my shore excursion meeting point was just off the ship on the pier. Once we were all together, we boarded our bus and had a safety briefing as we drove to the smaller port where we were meeting our captain and our smaller boat for the whale watching tour. I could already tell that this was going to be a much better experience than some of the huge boats that you can go out on for whale watching. If you really are interested in marine biology or learning more about the sea life here in Alaska, this is definitely the excursion for you. We stopped and we actually picked out a trap, which we saw a few hermit crabs. And we were also able to really learn more about the whales and the other sea mammals that are found in the Juneau area. Thankfully, it had stopped raining as we were going out to the first location where they had seen whales earlier today. Shortly, we arrived in an area where they had seen some humpback whales earlier. However, some orca whales were actually waiting for us, and they got so close to the boat. It was incredible. Honestly, this was definitely one of the best whale watching experiences I've ever had in my life. It was so incredible, and it was definitely worth the small ship experience. A few minutes after seeing the orca whales, we came across some humpback whales with a baby constantly going in full breach. He must have breached 2 or 3 times. It was so awesome to see.
Good morning, everybody, from day 4 on board our Holland America Line's Koningsdam cruise to Alaska. We have just woken up here in Skagway, and I've been here obviously quite a few times, and I've done a lot of the shore excursions here. The weather, unfortunately, again, this is the first Alaska cruise I've done that it's been totally raining so far. So I'm just actually going to be taking a walk around the town and just kind of seeing what's new. And I am going to kind of highlight some of the things you can do and see here in Skagway. Obviously, the big one is the White Pass Rail Train, which I'm actually going to be doing a full episode on up next after this one. So be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so that you're notified when I post that episode next, because I'm going to give my tips and tricks on the White Pass Rail here in Skagway, as it is such a popular excursion to do. There's a few different ways you can actually do that excursion here in Skagway. You can do the train round trip. You can also do it one way, so you can either take the train up and then take the bus back to Skagway, or you can actually take the bus up and then the train down back to Skagway. And then there's obviously some bus tours that go obviously all the way into the Yukon to see the Carcross Desert, and obviously to do some dog sledding and see the sled dog puppies, which are always kind of fun. So yeah, there's a lot of excursions here in Skagway, and I'll kind of get into a little bit more of that in that episode. But yeah, let's kind of go and explore Skagway and see how things have changed.
This morning I started off again with my room service breakfast while enjoying the cozy atmosphere before heading out to explore Skagway. If you are visiting Skagway on the Holland America Koningsdam, you are going to be docked in a pretty good location. It's only about a 10-minute walk into the center of Skagway, and easy and very flat and walkable for anybody. There is also a courtesy shuttle available, which costs a couple dollars per direction if you didn't want to make that 10-minute walk. Skagway, Alaska became famous during the Klondike Gold Rush of the late 1890s, when tens of thousands of prospectors flooded the town as a gateway to the Yukon in search of fortune. Its location at the head of the Inside Passage made it a natural starting point for the treacherous Chilkoot and White Pass trails, the main routes leading into the goldfields. Almost overnight, Skagway grew from a tent city into a bustling boomtown filled with saloons, trading posts, and hopeful miners. Today, it is, as you guessed, a popular cruise port where visitors come to explore its preserved Gold Rush history, ride the scenic White Pass and Yukon Route Railway, and experience the charm of its frontier past against a dramatic mountain backdrop. And if you do make it to Skagway, you definitely need to try a Klondike Doughboy. They are absolutely delicious. It was really nice to see some of my older favorite businesses still open, and exploring some of the newer shops that are locally owned, such as this one called Wild Yukon Furs. They specialize in creating their own hats and have curated a pretty fun gift shop. After wandering around Skagway, it was time to visit an old favorite, Bonanza Barn Grill, for an Alaska Amber beer, which was so good. I always order this when I come here, and the snacks are pretty good here too. Holland America offers the best cruise tour program in Alaska, in my opinion. You can actually do a Alaska cruise tour from here, Skagway, on the Koningsdam, into the Yukon, followed by a visit to Denali and Fairbanks. Once back on board the Koningsdam, it was time for yet again another snack. This time I had the apple and bacon pancake. After my snack and catching up with friends, I headed up to the artist loft to do the Damn Dots challenge. I actually really enjoy the art studio. They have some really fun and relaxing classes. I ate dinner tonight again in the main dining room. In regards to the food quality and taste, I actually prefer Holland America to a lot of the other premium cruise lines that are out there. I do prefer the food much more over Princess and Celebrity. Tonight I watched Major Fourth sing in the world stage. It was almost 10:30 at night and it was still this bright out by the time I got back to my stateroom. I love the sail out of Skagway. It's absolutely so beautiful sailing through this fjord. Hi friends, so it is day 5 here on board our cruise to Alaska, and we have entered Glacier Bay National Park. Now I've been up since about 5:30 this morning. It is now just after 8 o'clock in the morning, and I've already been able to see some whales, sea otters, and also a seal. So if you are coming to Alaska and you are entering Glacier Bay earlier in the morning, I do suggest waking up early on your Glacier Bay day, just because you do see so much along the coastline. Definitely wear some layers, so I am definitely have my base layer on, and when I go out to the bow of the ship and out on some of the outer decks, I'll be putting on my rainproof heavier jacket that I actually got on expedition sailing. I brought that on this cruise with me because it is very warm and waterproof. And yeah, so let's see how this day progresses. I think I'm going to take a walk up to the crow's nest now to show you what that looks like. We do have the park rangers on board, and also some of the indigenous local peoples on board. They're here. They're going to be doing some presentations as well as their stewardships. So yeah, let's go and show you what the crow's nest looks like before we get to our first glaciers. When they do turn down service the day before you arrive into Glacier Bay, you'll get quite a lot of material on Glacier Bay that you can read to familiarize yourself with the day's visit. couple of hours after entering Glacier Bay National Park, we were able to see Lamplugh Glacier. This glacier is one of the closer glaciers that you will sail up to in Glacier Bay National Park, and one of the first ones that you will come across. Afterwards, you will sail on to see the John Hopkins Glacier.
So I am on deck 5 and I am now heading to the bow, as here in Glacier Bay they actually open the bow of the ship. So let's go check out the John Hopkins Glacier. So one of my biggest cruise tips is, if you are sailing to Alaska and you are visiting Glacier Bay, I personally recommend getting a cabin on the port side, which is the left side of the ship, because as you sail into Glacier Bay, you're the first one to see the glaciers on your side of the ship, and then the ship will actually do its turns. So if you are sailing to Alaska, really highly suggest the port side or the left-hand side. As you can see, we are here at Marjorie Glacier, and I'm going to go outside onto my veranda. Again, really suggest getting a veranda in Alaska, because you really can enjoy the glaciers right from your own private space.
And as I stepped onto my veranda, there was a couple of sea otters really close, so I was able to get a couple great videos of these sea otters. I've actually never seen this many sea otters in Glacier Bay before. I shared some images I was able to grab on my iPhone. However, Glacier Bay is really known for you to view the sea otters up close. As the sun was trying to come out, I had a really quick lunch in the dining room of a massamum curry. And just like that, the sun came out to play in Glacier Bay. Tonight, I was so excited to try one of Holland America's new dining venues called Morimoto by Sea by Master Chef Morimoto. My friends and I decided that we were going to just order as much as we could and just basically shared it amongst everybody. I did have a few allergies, unfortunately, so I did have to have a couple plates to myself, but all the food was amazing. The taste, the flavors, everything was just so delicious. I would strongly suggest booking a table at Morimoto by Sea. It is a specialty restaurant with an additional charge. However, the food was incredible. If you are looking for a great meal in Ketchikan, I would highly suggest Annabelle's. They offer king crab, Dungeness crab, and an amazing clam chowder, which I absolutely loved. After lunch, a few of us decided to walk over to Creek Street as it had stopped raining. I have linked my Alaska playlist in the description box down below that has all the different videos I've created on some of my more recent Alaska cruises. This area of Creek Street has some great small gift shops and is really popular in August into September for the salmon run. I always see bears here, so be sure to check out Creek Street as it is pretty popular to view bears and also seals from this area. It was time to head back to the ship and get ready for my dinner at Rudy Cille de Mer with a friend. Rudy Cille de Mer is another specialty restaurant with an extra charge on Holland America line. The menu is seafood heavy, however, there are other options available for people like me who do have a fish allergy. So I thoroughly enjoyed my meal here, especially as it was more of a French-themed restaurant. Again, my friend and I ordered each our own food and then ordered a few additional side dishes that we shared to try as much as possible. And the food here, again, was absolutely amazing. This double-baked cheese souffle, just incredible. Seabourn does something very similar, and yeah, it was absolutely delicious. And we finished off with some incredible desserts as well. Tonight was the orange party on board, where everybody is encouraged to wear orange. So when you are cruising on Holland America Line, you will have one night that this happens on, so be sure to bring something orange. Day 7 was our last day at sea as we were cruising back towards Vancouver. After breakfast, I headed to the world stage and watched the presentation City on the Sea, which is really interesting because it basically shows how a cruise ship is basically a city on the sea. It's a really interesting show and ends with a special farewell from some of the crew. I was joined by another friend on board for lunch at the Pinnacle Grill. As I mentioned earlier, the Pinnacle Grill is another specialty restaurant that is typically open for dinner. However, on sea days, it is also open for lunch. You do need to make a reservation and there is an additional charge, and some items do have an additional supplement, but I highly suggest doing lunch at the Pinnacle Grill. It was absolutely delicious. After lunch, when I went back to my stateroom, I had my disembarkation information and my special mariner's gift, which is a Delft tile. I actually visited the Delft factory in Rotterdam a couple years ago, so these little touches are really special to me. Soon we entered Johnson Strait, which is another prime whale watching location. I was able to capture a couple more orcas here and also saw a humpback whale. Unfortunately, didn't capture it actually on video, but it's another prime whale watching location that I always see whales through this narrow passageway here. It was an absolutely beautiful evening, and for my last meal on board, I ate at Tamarind. So this is actually where Morimoto by the Sea is. However, Tamarind is the specialty restaurant that is here as well. And I have to say, Tamarind is actually really underrated. It's a Pan-Asian restaurant which features Thai, Indonesian, and Japanese style flavors. It's really, really delicious. Highly suggest you make a reservation here. Well, friends, this brings this cruise to an end. We have arrived into Vancouver, and I'm about to leave my stateroom. I just came back up from an early breakfast in the dining room, and yeah, even though our weather wasn't the greatest, I would still say that I had an amazing time. Holland America's new Alaska program really is it was a great surprise, and I think it's a great addition to help you experience Alaska a little bit more in depth. So if you are interested in booking your own Holland America cruise, be sure to reach out to me using the link found in the description box down below, or by using my website at wanderlustjourney.ca. I'd love to work with you to help you plan your cruise to Alaska. And as of always, if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as my next episode will actually be featuring the White Pass Rail in Skagway. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye!